Hi there, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about curves, region curves, point curves. Both of those are encompassed under the tone curve module here in the develop section of Lightroom. So I wanted to go over the basics with you guys and show you how curves can help to add an extra level of polish, an extra level of complexity to the editing that you're doing. And they're really easy to work with. They're a lot of fun to play with. So let's get started. Um, I have a photo here from a recent session, one of my favorites. This is Kara. She's beautiful. And we're going to very quickly just apply a preset. I'm just doing a black and white one for now. And we're going to look at your tone curve module here. Now it's right under your basics and above your colors. So the tone curves essentially let you control on a very minute level the different tones, the highlights, the shadows, lights, and darks, and you can further go into it with point curves and actually choose what channels, red, green, or blue, to control a little bit farther, which is a lot of fun to play with. It gives you special effects like cross-processing and more vintagey looks. It gives you matte looks for kind of that film type of look for your photos. It's really fun to play with. So I'm going to show you essentially how to work with them, how to alter the curves, and the easiest way to start playing with curves is to use the sliders. So you see the sliders down here under where it says region, and this preset happened to have sliders already slightly adjusted for this look. But you can see here, you move the slider, and note that when you move the slider, it changes the curve. So if you look at the curve while I move the slider, you see that it moves. So it's showing you where that curve is moving as you're adjusting it. Now, if you've noticed also, the shadows portion is towards the left, the lights portion's towards the right, so you can see it's broken up into sections down here. Darks, lights, oops, highlights, shadows. So shadows, darks, lights, and highlights. There you go. And the other way you can change it is by literally just clicking and dragging on the curve itself. Now, you'll feel that the mouse can't really drag that dot anywhere. It really binds you to being straight up and down from wherever you click. And I think the reason for that is this curve is meant to be a little bit more of a soft adjustment, so it's trying to kind of control the photo a little bit more and not let it get too crazy out of control. The final way that you can change this curve, the region curve, is with this small circle right here. You click on that. It lets you actually click and drag anywhere on the photo to adjust settings. For example, here I have the cursor over shadows. I click and drag up and it lightens. If I drag it down, it darkens the shadows. Easy as that. And you can play with it on the photo itself. Same thing if I go to one of the brighter sections, click here, drag up, and it brightens, drag down, and it darkens. So those are the three ways that you can alter the region curve. Down here at the bottom, you see it says point curve, and there's a little drop down. Lightroom will default to the linear curve. It also has medium contrast and strong contrast already installed in Lightroom for you. So linear is sort of your middle of the road, flat setting. It's not really going to have a lot of pop to it normally, which is why you're going to want to at least play with this region curve and add a little bit of contrast and pop. The medium contrast does just that. It adds more contrast. Strong contrast, more so still. And then you can add in your own, or you can import point curves that you get from others. And what you see here, these four at the bottom are actually the matte curve collection that was recently released from Presets Paradise. And it's been really fun to play with point curves and create some of these. Now, the matte ones create just that. They create a matte look, which tends to have more of a film and vintage sort of feel to it. And it's really great because they are four pretty distinct matte looks and can apply to different photos. So you have options with each kind of look. So for this one, I like this photo with the matte one curve. Now I'm going to show you how to alter these because I think it's important to know how it all works. You click into this little box to the right of point curves, and this graph up at the top here changes. Now right now I have it set on blue. I was playing around with it earlier, but normally I leave it on RGB. These are the color channels that you can change. You can either select an individual color channel or you can just do an overall effect, which is what I normally leave it at just for simplicity's sake. Now I selected here matte 1, and so it jumps to what the matte 1 curve is. But say you wanted to modify it, you wanted to tweak it a little bit, make it so that it fit your distinct style a little bit better. So you can start actually moving these little dots around. And what you'll notice when you do that is you have a lot more freedom on where to go with these than on the region curve graph. You're no longer bound to just go up and down. You can go all around. And any time that you click on this line anywhere, it adds a dot. It adds a little nodule to grab onto. And you can add as many as you want. You can move them around. You can do some kind of funky settings. Anytime that you alter this curve up here, your point curve selection is going to change to custom. That means it's been changed. It's not the saved curve settings anymore. So if you pull down this menu once more, you see down here the option to save. You click on save, you get this little dialog box that pops up. You can put a name to it and save it as a new point curve. We're just going to name it test. Click save, and that's now a new point curve. You've just created a point curve. So that's a really easy way to customize the point curves that you get elsewhere or to create your own from scratch. So I'm going to go back up to the matte 1 curve. And to get out of this, you just click on that box again. It brings you right back to the region curve. Super simple. Now I'm going to show you really quick what this looks like when you're working with colors, because black and white and color just kind of read a little differently. So we'll apply, let's see, we'll apply one of these other ones. We'll do 3, and we're going to darken this up a little bit. So wanted a little bit more contrast. And there is a completely new look just by playing a bit with the point curves. I actually really like that one, so I'm going to go ahead and save it. And I click out of it. And let's go back into here and play around with the individual channels. So this is the red channel. The red is going to be straight from corner to corner until you start messing with it. Now again, this is really good for that cross-processed, overdeveloped, expired film type of look. So in the red channel, if you go up, it goes to red. If you go down, it goes to green. And again, you can create as many nodules as you want. And again, this bottom left, the left side will apply to shadows and darks, then lights and highlights. So that tells you what tones in the photo are going to get adjusted. If we go to, let's go to blue, and just kind of playing around. So you can see how this can get really fun to just create funky, cool effects with. And the great thing, again, is creating this look has not changed anything in our color sliders. So all of these sliders for hue, saturation, and luminance, none of them have been changed. It's all within the point curves and the region curves. So it's a really great way to add another layer. You can still go in, do split toning, change your saturation, your hue. You can, change all of these things. But the nice thing is this is an independent layer of editing that you can add in. You can do little minor touches. You can make it a little bit more polished, add a bit of punch and pop to it, or you can go a little crazier like we did here with the colors and really get playful. I hope this has been helpful for you. We could talk about this for a long time, but I wanted to give you guys kind of a basic overview of curves because they are so fun to work with and you just don't hear enough about them out there. So get out there, go back into Lightroom, play with them. I will link to you where the matte curves from Presets Paradise can be found, and you can check those out. You can create your own. I would love to hear about how you've played with curves and if they've made your editing a little bit more fun or added any extra pop to your client photos. So please leave a comment, like the video, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next time.